I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sauce. I can't do anything about that. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning to you all. Spoon's coming too, so it'll be the three of us. TV Jones cannot make it tonight. And by the way, in the thumbnail is Reichel. He's coming on to do NBA with me. He's not replacing. There were some comments. He's not replacing. There's only one TV Jones. He's irreplaceable. He can't replace. I'm not replacing TV Jones. The way it's set up is TV Jones lets me know when he's coming on. So if he's able to make it, he makes it. If not, if he's not here, it's because he was unable to make it, not because I told him he couldn't come or anything. I promise.
He has a hard enough time getting here on his own. We don't have to not tell him to show up.
TV Jones has a full-time job and his show. So this is if he's able to make it work. A fun night of basketball. It felt like I was getting killed. I actually had a profitable night. It would have even been a great night if I didn't burn a unit on Inter Milan in the Champions League earlier today. Looking back, I don't know why I bet the Champions League. I did enjoy watching it though. But yeah, a profitable night for me. I guess we'll start with the lead story.
Was that on your juice reel?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. But I was still at a profitable day, but it was like 0.1 unit instead of 1.1 unit, thanks to Inter Milan. Let's start with the lead story. Spoon, so sorry to hear, man. Sorry about the Johnnies.
No, I cashed a unit on the money line.
It was too. He did.
I got plus money on that.
Yes, he did live bet St. John's money line, but Marquette covers. He was too scared to go head to head, so I can't officially claim my W back because he was too scared. But the Sauce and Scientists celebrate. Spoon and Toe. I don't think either of you guys actually even bet St. John's.
I didn't even.
I don't think either of you did.
Picture.
And also, I posted this on Twitter. This doesn't start till March 5th. $2,000 to the winner, completely free to enter. And I'm going to be covering the standings on the show every day. So it's just a March Madness. Just whoever can get the highest ROI. 4 picks. It doesn't matter how much you bet, by the way. You can bet $1. You can bet $1,000. It enters the competition as 1 unit. So if somebody's like worried about, no one's going to see how much you bet. If you've bet $1 or $1,000, no one's going to see that. It's just going to be 1 unit. So yeah, I'll talk more about it. That doesn't start till March 5th, but $2,000 to the winner on there. Anything else? Oh, I left the Sports Talk Radio. I just had left the TV on when I was preparing the show, and I heard some UConn panic talk. Oh, this Sports Talk Radio with that, man. If they win the game, it's like, oh, this team can win the championship. If they lose, it's so crazy, the overreactions and that type of content.
In baseball season, it's like my favorite thing in the morning to wake up and turn those shows on because it's the emotional roller coaster that those guys put themselves through. Obviously, they're doing it for views for most of the time. But sometimes I truly don't know because there's certain things that they say that I'm like, no, I'm going to have to call you right now and just make sure.
It really shows you how much recency bias just like dominates our minds. Like it's always whatever just happened. It doesn't matter what they did 2 weeks ago or for the last 5 years for the team.
Yeah. And where I will never forget this. So you're one quick story time. It'll be quick. So my dad hooked me up with way back in the day, probably early 20s. My dad hooked me up with a job delivering newspapers. So I was driving a van around all day and I was listening to the Sports Talk Radio all day. And this is where I first noticed it. So I was listening to the Fan. Those of you in the metropolitan area know the Fan. And the Brooklyn Nets I believe they just moved to Brooklyn, or I don't even remember. But the Brooklyn Nets, or the Nets, won a game by hitting a jump shot to win at the end. And the next day, all the talk was like, this Nets team is figuring it out. They're flying around on defense, taking calls. I'm really into this Nets team. Hours of talking about positivity for the Nets. 2 nights later, they have another game. They're down 1. Joe Johnson misses the jump shot to win. the calls are like, this Nets team just isn't built to win right now. It's like literally just one jump shot. It went in or it didn't. It was the same game. Sports Talk Radio is crazy. But all right, this will be a quick one for college basketball. Then we'll talk about some NBA. I do have a couple bets for the NBA. Yeah, let's. I'm looking to go 3 profitable college basketball days in a row. Actually, I doubt I'm even going to bet anything in this slate. I bet you this is
shout out South Carolina State.
Yes, thank you for that one, South Carolina State. The other one I tailed was Jacksonville State that didn't come through. So and then Auburn. Man, I could have been a great night if Auburn covered. They blew it at the end.
They came all the way back. They went down early and had a chance to cover that game. That was tough.
Hubbard had 35 points at half for Mississippi State. 35 points at half. That was crazy. But all right, first game up. Actually, the scientist has a pick in this one, by the way. So I'll bring the scientist up, the science report up. I think he's got the same pick as you, Spoon, right? Drexel?
Hopefully.
Yep. Yeah, so science agrees with you.
I have a -108 money line here for Drexel. This Northeastern team has faced so many injuries this year, and they just coming off another one to William Kamori. This is the player that's made it through the bulk of this season and been the best player on this team. It looks like he's out for the foreseeable future right now. Drexel's coming off a few losses themselves, but this Northeastern team is 2-11 in conference. They just lost the most valuable player on their team at this point. I think this is a spot where Drexel can really show up. Drexel relies so much on their defense. And I just think Northeastern has an issue scoring the basketball. This is a team that hasn't gotten over 77 points in like 6 games now. Northeastern's not a good team. I think this is a really mispriced money line.
Toast, did you look at this one?
No. We'll just pass.
All right. So sports scientist Jacob and Spoon on Drexel here. You said Northeast. You mentioned the injured player that's on Northeastern, that injured player?
Yeah, so his name's William Kamori. He's the most recent injured player. Their last game, they're using their 12th different starting lineup of the season. I think if we go through, they probably have lost 5 or 6 starters at this point in the season. So this is a ragtag bunch of this. They're just trying to get through the end of the season.
Next up, Memphis. So actually, I think the science report is on this one. Oh my God, why do I have this dog image?
Wofford.
Why is it? So I think
they're going to be healthy here right at the end of the season. We're going to have a bunch of betting value on them.
So the scientist is on Memphis as well. Toast, Spoon, either of you guys. Toast, you clicked this game. Do you agree with the scientist?
No, I do not. It would be over or pass for me. I think Memphis could get absolutely destroyed inside here tomorrow, and Memphis can do a really good job of limiting other teams from shooting the 3 ball, but they just get absolutely destroyed, and I think that South Florida is going to destroy them. Not to mention the fact that Penny getting points, I get it, the whole 9. I'm sure that's not the reason that he's betting him, but this is their 4th road game in their last 5 games. They had to go to North Texas, then Utah State, and now back down here into South Florida. I really, really hate the spot for Memphis. So I don't really mind them offensively. So I do expect them to put some points up, but I do think that South Florida names our number tomorrow. So it would be over or pass for me.
Someone comment just came in. Who the fuck is Reichel, and why'd you fire TV Jones?
What?
Spoon, what do you?
Okay, I get it.
What do you think?
This is going to be a great game. I had this circled for a spot that I'd be able to back South Florida, but I thought this number would be between 5.5 and 7 as an opener. Looking at an 8.5, this will be the first matchup between these 2 teams this season. They'll play one more time to end the season. I think the South Florida team is really good. Brian Hodgson is the coach formerly employed by Alabama. He was one of the best recruiters there and did a great job at Arkansas State. And he's done a great job with South Florida here. This is a team that plays with a ton of tempo, just like Alabama does. Has a really good offense, but the defense has been really above what I thought it would be coming into this season. I think Memphis is the headline name in this conference. You get a home game and you have the better team this season. I think they're going to go off. The market value right now doesn't correlate. Memphis coming off a couple losses. It's a little bit of a buy low, and that's why the numbers pushed to 8.5. Like I said, if it drops and I can get a 7 at any point, I will move on South Florida.
So basically, you're saying sports scientist Jacob is a fraud.
I wouldn't say that. I like Jacob, but we don't have to agree on
joking. I was joking, dude.
I don't like to disparage other people.
I kind of enjoy it.
Shout out UNLV for showing up tonight. Really appreciate it.
They'll come back.
They're not coming back. Teams don't come back for me, dog. Let's get real here.
They're not coming back.
2-5 day. Just stay fading, boys. Keep on winning. I promise you.
Texas State, South Alabama. South Alabama laying 4 here. I haven't watched a game. Oh no, you know what? I did watch one South Alabama game. And that's right. I won it by the hook when I bet South Alabama this year. But I mean, I don't know anything about these teams. So Spoon, this is your game.
Yeah, I have South Alabama minus 2.5, minus 110 here in this game. This South Alabama team is coming off a loss to to Marshall right now, and they play a Texas State team who's a little bit of a step down in competition from Marshall, in my opinion. They're coming off a really nice stretch of conference play where they've rattled off 7 straight wins. The last one being the Louisiana Monroe, a team that's ranked 349th in KenPom right now. I think this is a serious step up in competition. South Alabama is a really difficult team to play. I think this is going to be an issue for them today. Texas State won the first matchup 65-67 at home. Now they hit the road. I think South Alabama gets their shot back. In that first game, South Alabama had a 15-point lead in the second half. I think this is a game where they walk away with it.
Toast, you look at this one?
Yeah, I love South Alabama. I didn't bet it, though, because I'm trigger shy, and now it's 4, so not going to bet it. But yeah, the step down in competition the step up in competition for Texas State was the key factor for me. But yeah.
Yeah, it looks like if you got the minus 2.5, you're sitting pretty. You can still get a juice 3.5, but though it looks like those 2.5s are long gone. Looking like Spoon made a good move there on 2.5. Next up, Cal State Northridge against Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I bet this game. I bet UC Santa Barbara minus 3.5. I do think that this number's going to move a little bit. So for me, I just feel like this is a ultimate sell high for CSUN, who has played obviously really, really good over the last couple weeks or so. But I will say that I do think that some of the shooting is, I mean, they're not going to be able to shoot like this forever. I know that they're a decent 3-point shooting team, but over the last 3 games, they're 35 of 57 from deep. And I mean, the shot quality scores is what gets me too, is that, they're almost 10 points off every time. So I don't want to say they're getting lucky, but they've been hitting a lot of shots that they're not going to make consistently. And then you also have a UC Santa Barbara team that is 2-2 their last 4, but all 4 of those games were ranked as shot quality wins. And not to mention the fact that if they don't blow that game to UC Davis, which they probably shouldn't have won, I still think this number would end up being probably like around 4.5 or 5. Because like I said, I mean, UC Santa Barbara, I think, is the much, much better team. And sitting at 10-5 in conference, they very well should be 10-4. 11-4, if not better. But regardless, I think we get some decent line value, and I think this is a really good spot for the Gauchos at home.
I'll tell you. It looks like Pinnacle is already taking some money on that side. I can get down with some UC Santa Barbara. Some Gauchos.
Be careful.
Of what?
I'm saying be careful.
What, the dangers of gambling? I'm familiar with them.
Gambling and tailing a bet of mine. That would be the danger, yes.
No, I think it closes at 4.5.
Might close 5.5. They'll still probably lose outright.
All right, where's Santa Barbara? Santa Barbara. Sorry to hold up the show.
You can go, Spoon.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I lean Santa Barbara here in this matchup. I really like Aiden Mahaney. He's probably the best player in this game. Guy that played at UConn, St. Mary's the last few years.
He tried to play at UConn.
What's that?
He tried to play at UConn. Sorry, I had to say that.
Probably the best player in this game. I think this is a nice little buy low. That last game versus Cal Poly, in the second half, Cal Poly came out and just shot unrealistic. 67% from 2-point range, 60% from 3 in the second half. They missed more free throws than they did 3-pointers, I think. This is a team coming off a loss where they really should have gotten a win. They get to come back home. I like UC Santa Barbara here. The number just seems sort of efficient to me. I think they get the win, but I don't know if they get the cover, and that's why I didn't move on this game. I was waiting to hear what you had to say about this. I know you have much better hold on these West Coast teams.
So someone spent $5 on this super chat to say Spoon is who sports scientist Jacob dreams of becoming or dreams of being at night, even though he was wrong about St. John's and tried to cover it up with a live money line bet. I agree with the second part. He was wrong.
You're just like the comments, calling out losses on like leans I have. Like, what am I supposed to be upset about that?
I like the one guy who tweeted you. He's like, you had a terrible night. Like, dude.
Finish down a unit. I mean, it's not great.
If down a unit is a terrible night, you need to stop. Because there will actually be terrible nights at some point. Eastern Washington against Sacramento State.
I had this one. You can put up Sacramento State for me. I just want to see what we get if we get Mikey Williams back in the lineup because he didn't play the last 2 games and they said it was an illness. So I want him back in the lineup, but I do think we're getting Eastern Washington off of like a sell high opportunity here where they have not been great on the road this year, but they're coming off of 2 really solid road wins followed up by 2 mediocre home wins against Idaho State and Weber State, and now they're facing a Sacramento State team. Like I said, Mikey Williams is their best player. He's been in and out of the lineup the last couple of weeks, and their record has shown that. But I do think if they get him back in, that's definitely a game that they can win, especially at home tomorrow. So I need to see the status of him. I've been looking it up all day, but if you can get plus 100 or plus 1.5 with Sacramento State tomorrow, that will be my play.
Spoon, do you agree?
It looks like a really nice sell high on Eastern Washington. This is a team 4 games ago that was sitting 5-17 on the year, 3-6 in conference. Now they're sitting 7-6 in conference, 9-17 on the year. Wins versus 2 of the better teams in Montana and Montana State on the road. Very impressive. Dan Munson, not a bad coach at all, but this seems like a road spot where I could see them dropping a game. Mikey Williams is one of the best players on that Sacramento State team. Is going to be a key part to them being able to win that game at home tomorrow. They're coming off 3 straight losses, 2 of which Mikey Williams was not a part of. So I lean Sacramento State here too. I'm not sure I'm ready to get involved, but Eastern Washington's not a team that I want to buy high on. So it would only be Sacramento here.
Let's move on to the last. Well, actually, we have 2 games left. There's one that Spoon wants to talk about that I didn't get graphics made for. So we have this one, which was a late addition from Spoon, and then we have one more. I forget which one, but I have no graphics for it. So this is. Go ahead.
So we got Central Connecticut and Lemoyne playing here. Lemoyne is a pretty good basketball team. They recently just got back their leading scorer on the season in Shiloh Jackson, but 2 games ago, they had a little bit of a scrum at the end of the game, and they lost their starting point guard, not to injury, but to suspension. And this will be the 3rd game that he will miss. Central Connecticut already beat this Lemoyne team earlier this season. They were missing one of their better players in that game, their center. So I think this is a spot where Central Connecticut can show up again. Thought this number was a little bit short. I got a -3.5. I paid -115 for it. I like Lemoyne, but this team without their starting point guard does not operate very efficiently on the offensive end. And I think the Central Connecticut team, even with players being healthy on both sides, this number should be closer to like Central Connecticut -5. And I got a 3.5. I wasn't going to pass that up.
It looks like the 3.5 is gone. I'm only seeing 4.5s now. So, and the second game you wanted to talk about was Vermont, right?
Yeah, Vermont Catamounts, you can get them plus 104 right now. I have a unit and a half on this tomorrow. This is a team
You have
that's
a unit and a half
80%.
on Vermont.
Here we go.
It's a team that never mind, I didn't say that. I bet Vermont tomorrow.
I'm telling.
This is a team that's won 80% of their conference games going back 20 years now. They're not having the greatest season. All the players that have been dealing with injuries are working their way back. They've all been on the floor. I don't think they're all fully healthy, but to be able to get plus money with Vermont versus anybody in their conference is ridiculous. UMBC, pretty well-coached team, but they don't have the talent that Vermont does. This number is very heavily affected by recency bias. I think if Vermont's been healthy all season, we'd be looking at a 6.5 to 9.5 number here. And to be able to get Vermont at a dog price, I'm not going to pass it up. Also, had one last bet. Alabama A&M versus Florida A&M tomorrow. I'm on Alabama A&M. This is a team that is just really playing well coming down the second stretch of this season. Dante Jackson brought some players over with him. This is his first year at A&M, but he's been in the conference now for quite a while. And I think Alabama A&M on the road here is just criminally mispriced. There's no home court advantage with Florida A&M. To be able to get a plus 110 money line, I think that closes well as well.
What was that? Was that the last team? I heard what you said. I just missed the team in the beginning.
Alabama A&M. I believe it's the Bulldogs.
Alabama A&M. All right. Guys.
Somebody asked about Charleston in the comments. Whatever you guys do, just keep him. Just look at the numbers with and without Connor Hickman, because he's out. He's not going to be back, and he's missed the last 2 games. And their style has been completely different. They were like a run and gun team. You could essentially count on 70 plus possessions or more, 75 possessions or more, and they've really slowed down the last couple of nights. So just keep that in mind. He's probably a big piece to them.
All right, so for those of you that are going to be around after NBA, Toast is coming back to talk Miami Marlins baseball.
Hello.
So for those of you that are still going to be here in like 25, 30 minutes, Toast will be back. Spoon, sorry about the Johnnies, man. Sorry. I'm sorry about the graphic. Sorry you didn't see the...
One of these days you're going to get one on me.
First comment.
That one doesn't count.
The first comment I saw was when I looked at my phone, it says, Vermont again? F that.
Yeah, well, when Spoon lost with Vermont...
Never in my life have I heard more negative comments than the last time I said I bet Vermont on this show. But
yeah, people lost like their homes on that, apparently. Judging by the comments, people bet that irresponsibly. I tailed you on Vermont, Spoon. All right, Toast, see you in a few minutes. Soon, talk to you tomorrow. So I kind of messed up here. I told Scott that we would be around 12:45. I didn't realize when I told him that, I didn't realize we were only going to be talking about 6 college basketball games. So we can just start pulling some graphics on and go through it. And then Scott has 4. He sent me 4 picks. So I'll just talk about some stuff. And then when he comes on, he could just run through the picks that he has. Scott, if you're watching this, join whenever you're ready. I told him 12:45 though, so this is my bad. Hawks Sixers. So I actually almost grabbed Hawks +5 when this first opened. These lines opened like 2 or 3 days ago. For those of you that were paying attention, it opened pretty much right after the All-Star game ended the other night. So these lines are pretty mature. And I almost grabbed the Hawks early. At the time, we weren't sure if Embiid was going to be out. He's been ruled. He has been. Sorry about that. He has been ruled out. This will be the 3rd straight game he missed, dating back to before the All-Star break. And early in the season, there was kind of a running joke that the Sixers are better without Embiid, and the Sixers can't win with Embiid and Paul George and with all the guys on the floor at the same time. That is old news. That's an old take because the Sixers are really struggling without Joel Embiid. In their last 7 games without Embiid on the floor, they're 1-6 straight up, 1-6 against the spread. So, look, and not just, they're losing games. Look at specifically the numbers without Embiid. This is, terrible offensively and defensively. I guess you could say there's some tough opponents in there. You got the Oklahoma City, I guess, the Knicks, the Suns are pretty good, I guess, but Hornets are a solid team, obviously. But this team is not playing well without Joel Embiid right now. So Joel Embiid ruled out. We have to treat that as if it's 2024. Joel Embiid ruled out. Now, the thing is, the Hawks kind of limped into the All-Star break. If you remember, the Hawks were on a little bit of a winning streak. They won 4 games in a row. And then, who was it? Jaylen Brown knocked Okongwu's teeth out in the Boston game, and Okongwu missed some games. And from that point on, Jalen Johnson missed a couple. Reese Shea came back, but there was just other guys on and off the floor. The Hawks dropped 5 of their last 7 before the break, including 3 straight losses. So the Hawks kind of went into the break limping. Could have been a nice regroup point for them, though, because now they're coming out of the break rested. The Hawks are still in the playoff race. They're still in the play-in tournament. We know the Hawks are going to play an up-tempo game. They're a very fast-paced team. If you look at the pace, Hawks 3rd in the NBA, top 10 in the last 10 games. We know the Hawks are going to bring a fast pace here. Philadelphia, in their last 6 games where there was over 101 possessions each, so basically in their last 6 fast-paced basketball games, 0-6 straight up, 0-6 against the spread. And Joel Embiid's not on the floor to slow the game down. Seems like the Hawks are going to get the style of basketball they want to play too. Rested. I understand. I agree with the line coming down. You can't bet it now. Down to 1.5. I'd say this number is about good. Probably a 50% probability on both sides here at Philly minus 1.5. The move was to grab Atlanta early. At current number, I think we're about set at Philly minus 1.5. So I guess if you force me to bet a side, actually, I don't even want to give. I don't know. I guess I would lean Hawks, but I'm not doing it. So yeah, the move was to grab Atlanta early here. So for those of you that got on the Hawks at open at that +5, looks like you did a good job. All right. Brooklyn, Cleveland. All right, Nets, Cavs. Man. So, Cleveland's in good shape. Looks like Mobley is going to play. There's speculation on whether or not he was going to come back. He was injured before the All-Star break, and we kept hearing maybe, and it looks like he is going to play. So it looks like Evan Mobley's going to be back. Also looks like Dean Wade is going to be back for Cleveland. So it's the healthiest the Cavs have been in quite a while. This is a Cavs team that kind of got hot right before the break, too. I'm pretty sure they've won 10 of their last 11, something like that. So not only did Cleveland seem to be figuring it out right before the break, but they're also coming out of the break rested. Remember, this is kind of a veteran team, so they're coming out of the break rested with momentum, healthier. Cleveland should be in good shape to play well. I think we should be showing Cleveland a little bit of respect in market right now, and the fact that they're laying 16 here means the market agrees that Cleveland should be priced with some respect right now. Brooklyn, really tough to count on him without Claxton. He's such an important part of the team. Not only is he the most important defensive piece on the team, but also they use him this is a weird example, but they kind of use him like the Kings used to. Oh, I say used to. He's still there. How they kind of use him how the Kings use Sabonis, where like kind of dribble handoff screens at the top. He actually does some work for them on the offensive side as well. I believe he was leading the team in assists for a while or something like that. So not having Claxton, tough to really count on this team. Now, what makes it a little bit interesting, so in my opinion, Cleveland should win this by as many as they like. What makes it a little bit interesting, remember, there's no Cam Thomas anymore in Brooklyn. He's no longer on the team. What did we see from Brooklyn before Cam Thomas left? Saw them playing really good defense. What did we see Brooklyn? What did we see from Brooklyn before the break? Pretty sure they won 2 of their last 3, and they played 3 solid defensive games in a row. Without Claxton, I don't think it matters for this game, but something to keep in mind, the Nets without Cam Thomas were playing some defense under Fernandez. He had that team playing some decent defense. Again, I don't think it really matters for this one, but something to keep in mind, especially no Claxton. Cleveland has the Hornets on deck. They play the Hornets on Friday night. The way Charlotte's playing, you'd have to think that's a much more important game than this nothing game against Brooklyn. You can see right on the screen, I make this game about 17. So at 16, I actually would lean Cleveland. We have a 1-point advantage over the market, according to my numbers, but that's not enough. I'm not betting a 17 that should be 16. There's just not enough of the edge there. But I will put Cleveland up because, in my opinion, the number should be 17. There we go. Cleveland or pass there. Next up, Rockets Hornets. Man, I thought I was ready for this to be my biggest NBA bet coming out of the break. I was waiting for this line to open, and I was going to smash the Rockets. I thought I was going to get a pick. I thought this was going to open up around a pick, and I was going to smash the Rockets. I like the matchup for the Rockets. Opened up, Houston's laying 2.5. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'll wait it out because maybe I can get a Houston -1.5, -1 at some point. No, long gone. It's Houston -4.5 now. So it's gone. In fact, we're at the point where I actually think you need to start considering Charlotte at this number. So Houston's in good shape injury-wise. Adams, Van Vliet, obviously long-term injuries, but rest of the team's in good shape. Charlotte, some suspensions, as I'm sure you know. Diabate, Miles Bridges. I'm not even sure exactly how long they're out. I think towards the end of this month. Kobe White not going to play in this game. So Charlotte not in good shape. Houston in great shape. Charlotte, we just talked about, they also have the Cavs on deck. So not that a game against the Rockets is a nothing game, but the game after this that they have on Friday against Cleveland is a much more important game for Charlotte in terms of playoff seeding. So they have a more important game on deck, which I don't like. LaMelo's fine, by the way. He was in a car accident. I'm sure you saw it on social media. He's apparently fine, going to play. So all good there. It should be a very slow-paced game here. Both these teams, slow-paced, run their offenses very slow. Both have been were running very, very slow before the break. So I would imagine we see a slow-paced game. I don't know. I liked the matchup for the Rockets. I was trying to get Houston -1. Houston at a pick. -4.5 is crazy. I actually think you would have to lean towards Charlotte at this number, but I do agree with the market pushing it up this way. So at this number, I like the matchup for Houston, so I'm not going to take it. So I'm not going to take Charlotte, but I think at the current number, I would lean Charlotte. I'm not even putting it up, though, because I really wanted to bet Houston here. That's how I wanted to play this one. I just didn't get it. Didn't get the number I wanted. All right, so I bet this one. I actually bet the next two. So I kind of got screwed here with an injury update. So I loved this bet when I first placed it. Kind of got some bad news in terms of inactives since I placed this bet. And you could actually get a better number than I did. I still think my bet's fine. Obviously, Siakam being out really kicks me in the nuts here. I have an over in this one, and I have 234.5. So you can actually get a 232.5. I do agree with the number coming down with Siakam being ruled out, but I still think it's too low. So I do agree with the total, like Siakam dramatically affecting the total, but in my opinion, the total should have been 236.5, 237 to begin with. So I still think you could maybe look at an over here. The Pacers offense without Siakam is bad. Don't get me wrong. It's bad. And now Neesmith's questionable as well. TJ McConnell. Yeah, I had some bad luck here in terms of the injury report. But the thing is, the Wizards defense without Alex Sarr, it's like the worst thing. It might be the worst defense ever assembled in the National Basketball Association. So without Alex Sarr this year, the Washington Wizards have a defensive efficiency rating of 124.8. Dude, that's 125 points allowed per 100 possessions. That's practical joke bad. So without Alex Sarr on the floor, and Alex Sarr's been ruled out, by the way, for the Wizards. Without Alex Sarr, Washington can't even spell defense. So even though the Pacers offense is so bad, and without Siakam, they're even worse. This is a bad offense. I still think they could score here. And the thing with the Wizards, with Keyshawn George, they have some talent. They could score a little bit as well. Look, we're talking about two bad offenses here, and I'm on an over. Sucks. But I think we're just going to see such a fast-paced basketball game. Look at the pace. 2 top 10 teams in terms of pace. I mean, the last 10 games, Pacers are 8th, Wizards are 7th. 2 teams that I don't really trust defensively. I think we're going to see sprinting up and down the court the whole time. So obviously, I got a little bit screwed here with the with Siakam. Siakam's out for personal reasons, by the way. He's not injured. It's something I don't even know if details have been released. So I got a little bit screwed here. If Neesmith doesn't play, yeah, I got a little bit screwed here. But I do have a bet on the over. The next bet is my favorite one. But the number's gone, so I probably shouldn't even say it. So, yeah, I bet the over in this one. Yeah, Godfather. Alex R. out. Reported to be out 2 weeks. Yeah, I think they're going to reevaluate him at the end of the month. Godfather in the comments is correct. All right, next one. This is my biggest bet of the day, but number's kind of gone, so it's kind of a cop-out move saying that. So I'm on New York -2.5, and I'm on the Knicks at -140. I got a unit on each. The Pistons, what I really like about this Detroit team is those 2 bigs, Durant and Isaiah Stewart. That Detroit has an elite center on the floor at all times, and it's so tough to contend with. They're so tough defensively. They're so physical down low, and without those 2 guys, I just don't know how good I think Detroit is without those 2 guys on the floor. When they're both playing, this Pistons team is very tough. And I like this team. I think they should be priced with some respect when those 2 guys are playing. But without those 2 guys playing, I mean, you take away the identity of the team. Now, I know the identity of the team is Cade Cunningham. He's the face of the franchise. But the identity of how this team plays, without those 2 guys, I mean, what do the Pistons look like when Towns can get to the rim? What do the Pistons look like when Mitchell Robinson is ripping offensive boards on them? Just not what we see from Detroit. So going on the road to Madison Square Garden, the Knicks seem to have figured it out. I thought this was crazy to be priced at 2.5 -140. So I jumped right on it. Knicks -2.5, Knicks moneyline -140. I made the game 5.5. The reason I would chill on 4.5 is Anunoby's listed as questionable for New York. So if Anunoby doesn't play, I don't think I would want to be on -4.5. But if Anunoby's playing, I make the game 5.5. So if Anunoby plays, I still think there's a little bit of meat left on the bone on New York -4.5 here. So if you haven't bet this one, if you didn't tail it when I posted it, I'd say chill and keep an eye out for Anunoby. If Anunoby's ruled in and you can still get 4.5, I think that's still cool. But yeah, I'm on New York. Stoke, they're going to blow the Knicks out once again. Please. He's a Pistons fan. He lives in a state of delusion. For those of you that don't know Stoke. Raptors Bulls. This is actually one I didn't write anything. I didn't look at this one because this is one that Scott wanted to talk about. So maybe Scott will be here in a few minutes. Phoenix, San Antonio. Okay, so I honestly think there might be a little bit of edge here. So I think we're a tad high with this number. I would probably make this 6.5, 7. So I actually think there might be a little bit of value left on the Phoenix side at 7.5. So, all right. So my numbers have this at 7. Devin Booker's back, and that is huge. So if you've just been blindly betting the Suns every time Devin Booker plays, if you just blindly bet the Suns every time Devin Booker plays, you are 30-13 against the spread. You are swimming in ROI if you just blindly bet the Suns every time Devin Booker plays. Probably been the most profitable team with a player on the floor in the NBA. They're significantly better. Look at the defensive rating. A 111.6 defensive efficiency when Booker plays. Offensive rating also increases by 5.7 points per 100 possessions. So this Suns team, significantly better, and I mean significantly better, on both sides of the floor when Devin Booker plays. So Devin Booker's back. Devin Booker's playing here. Now, I know that Dillon Brooks is out for the Suns, and he's been a key piece for them without a doubt. But actually, the Suns without Dillon Brooks, they're 4-2 against the spread. Their numbers are fine. It's only a 6-game sample, so who cares, kind of. But the Suns have played some games without Dillon Brooks, and they were fine. So I'm not too worried about Dillon Brooks. The problem is I get the main question in this one is, does what San Antonio was doing right before the break carry over to after the break? Because they closed out the first half of the season there on a heater. I mean, they were elite on both sides of the floor. They're completely healthy. So it really, that's the question for this one. Or do you believe in what the Spurs were doing right before the break? We're only talking about like a 4 or 5 game sample where they look very strong the last 4 or 5 games there. But you know what? Phoenix has hung in there against good teams. I did against defensive efficiencies 113 or greater, or against offensive efficiencies 116 or greater. Basically, this is their numbers against borderline top 10 defenses and their numbers against top 10 offenses. They're 6-4 against the spread against top 10 defenses. They're 8-2 against the spread against top 10 offenses. So as long as Devin Booker's on the floor, this Suns team has been competitive. When they play tough opponents, the Suns team's not just getting worked like that. They're coached really well. They space the floor well. They play good defense. I love the way this team plays. So, I understand the way the Spurs are playing. I understand why the market has it at 7.5. I just think it's a tad high. I think it should be about 6.5. So, you know what? Let's bet the Suns. NBA's back. I'm down to do it. Let's bet the Suns. I don't know how much of an edge is here, but half point, I'll take it. So I can get a plus 7.5, minus 108 on FanDuel. Sorry to hold the show up. Phoenix Suns, Spurs, yep. You know what? I'm going to put 0.75 unit on the, and I'm also going to sprinkle the money line. Let's go, Suns. Show me something. Plus 240 I can get. Show me something, Suns. Sorry. This is bad content. Suns money line, plus 240. Boom. All right, so I'm in on Phoenix. I don't know. I'm probably doing a little bit of gambling there, but I do think the number is a tad high. Oh, there's Scott. Yo, Scott, I screwed up, man. Hold on, let's get Scott on the screen. So we're just going to go back to the games you selected. I told Scott, you guys already know because we're just talking about it. I told Scott 12:45. We finished college basketball at 12:25. So I was just had time to kill. So, all right. I just bet the Suns, by the way, plus 6.5 or plus 7.5. But let's go back and to a couple games you selected here. How are you? How's everything going, by the way?
Good. Can't complain. I was going to be up anyway, so might as well do some NBA stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. So I know you wanted to stop at this one, and I think I liked the matchup for Houston here, but this number's too high. I think I would agree with you on Charlotte here. So you're on Charlotte?
Yeah, I like the 4.5. We saw them face off against Houston a couple weeks ago. We saw the Hornets win on the road outright by 10 points. I like the under in the game as well. I do think that both teams defensively have been quite good recently. To go through some advanced metrics here over the past 10 games, Hornets ranked 6th in defensive rating, Rockets ranked 7th, and both teams are also playing at a very slow pace. Over the past 10 games, Rockets' second slowest pace in the league, and the Hornets ranked 24th. We've seen a bunch of low-scoring games lately from each of them individually. The last game that we saw 2 weeks ago ended up landing in the low, or I should say I'd say mid-200s. We saw the Rockets not even reach 100 in the last game against Charlotte. So I like the under in the game, and Charlotte's been a freight train. They've won 10 of the last 11. I didn't want to lay 4.5 on the road with Houston based on their current form, but I also like the under. I think even if Houston does end up winning the game, I think it should be pretty ugly to watch. So I'll go with the under as well.
Yeah, I don't hate an under there. Should be a very slow-paced game. I don't hate an under there at all. Both these teams are running an extremely slow pace before the break. So, yeah, I'll put an under graphic up for you. So when I first looked at this game, so I was looking at these before the lines open, and I was hoping to get the Rockets at a pick. They open as 2.5-point favorites, and I was like, maybe it'll come down. It goes up. And then when it hit 4.5, I was like, dude, this is too high. Like, now you got to start looking Charlotte. This is too high. So, yeah, as much as I actually liked the Rockets here at this number, it's tough for me to argue with the Charlotte pick. But, all right. So there's actually one game where I might tail you on. Oh, but we didn't get there yet. So next one. Oh, you actually had a pick in this one as well. So I took the over here, but I bet it before Siakam was ruled out for personal reasons. So, but yeah. So Pacers, Wizards, or wait, did you take this one before Siakam was? Because that just happened. I don't know if you made this pick before Siakam was ruled out.
So yes, I initially messaged you Pacers -3.5, and then I messaged you about 5 minutes after that saying, actually, never mind, I'm going to swap this one out. I
didn't see the second message. All right, so what are we swapping it for?
I ended up swapping it with the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets.
Okay, we didn't get to that game yet. So this is the game. I skipped over this game. You wanted to talk about this game. I'm all ears. I don't really know how I feel about the Bulls right now. So I'm all ears. You're going to lay it with the Raps here?
Yeah, I am. So the Bulls, look, you can argue that some teams are blatantly tanking. Some teams are incompetent. Chicago might be both. I mean, who knows? But the point is they have no centers left, and this team's been falling apart. They've lost 9 of their last 10. They have 6 straight losses by at least 8 points. Toronto does have a lot of size on the roster, which should give a team like Chicago a lot of problems because they cannot rebound the ball. Jakob Poeltl's healthy again. Murray Boyles is probable. I know he's been banged up lately too. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, they all can do a good job on the glass in this game. Josh Giddey's still questionable. So despite the layoff, the Bulls still don't know if he's going to play or not, so keep that in mind. But the Bulls have been getting destroyed in basically every game for the last 2 weeks, and Toronto right now, I think we'd agree, is a pretty good Eastern Conference team. They might not be a threat to actually win the East, but the point is they might win a round. We'll see. But either way, I'll keep blindly fading Chicago. There's a lot of teams you might want to blindly fade that are tanking in the second half of the season. Chicago's one of them. They kind of showed their hand at the trade deadline, acquiring what feels like 40 guards and having no centers. So I'll take Toronto minus the 5.5.
Yeah, they got Jalen Smith, who's probably just going to stand out on the perimeter anyway. All right. Now, we're going to go to, so this is the one I just left off on, Suns. We're going to go to this next one, and I was leaning the way you took Celtics minus 4.5, right?
Yep.
I think the number should be about 6, so I agree with you. I didn't bet it yet, but I might be down to tail. Celtics, Warriors, you're on Boston.
Yes, I am. So Steph Curry officially ruled out for this game. On top of that, of course, Jimmy Butler out for the season. The question for Golden State is, how is this team supposed to score? And that's really just a good question because you're looking at what should be a front court consisting of Draymond Green, Al Horford, and a little bit of Quentin Post. Yeah, good luck with that. I think Boston's just a much more talented team. Jaylen Brown, we know, has been great this season. Should make an All-NBA team. Still have Pritchard, still have Derek White, still have Kata if you want to throw in some defense and some size. They got Vucevic as well, who should be a good bench center for this matchup, especially against Golden State. But simply put, I think we'd all agree Golden State not very good, especially when Steph does not play. You're relying a lot on Podziemski and some other guys to kind of fill in and try to have solid games. Golden State, we'll see how many minutes Porzingis might play if he ends up suiting up. But the point is, Boston defensively is still like offensively. We do know that this team can still put up a lot of points. I just think it's a bad matchup for Golden State. This team, at the end of the day, can really only win one way now without Steph, which is to muck the game up, make it ugly, and try to just out-physical the other team. I don't see that working against Boston, who is the deeper team, the more talented team, and I think just the better offensive team. 5 is too short. I think this line's going to go up a couple of points before game time, and it already has gone up from, I know it was 2.5, then Steph got ruled out. Now it's at 5, so I think it's going to keep going up. I got Boston minus 5.
I just grabbed the last 4.5 available, and I agree. It's mostly 5.5 now. I had this game. Where's my yes? I had this game 6, so that's where I had it. So yeah, I actually still think it's playable at 5. I agree. I was already leaning Boston, so I just bet it. So this next one I actually didn't even look at. There's only 2 games left. I didn't look at this one. If you have thoughts, we could talk about it, but I got nothing for Orlando, Sacramento. I don't know who's playing for the Kings, so.
Well, yeah, Sabonis got ruled out for the season. Levine got ruled out for the season. And, of course, for Orlando, Franz Wagner might be out for the season. So we'll see what happens there. I talked about the game on the NBA podcast a couple hours ago. Conceptually, I was miserable picking one of these 2 teams. So I'm not going to bet this game, full disclosure, but I can't lay 9 with Orlando on the road. It's first game after the All-Star break. You have an Eastern Conference team traveling to California. I'm good. Like, look, I understand Sabonis and Levine can help you offensively, but both of them defensively are catastrophes. And I do think that even though Sabonis is a great rebounder, I actually like Cardwell and I like Ronald. I think they have a couple of young centers that could actually give them decent minutes. But Orlando's offense has been really painful to watch all season. They have a lot of lulls in their game, and I do think that Orlando, laying 9, I'm not interested in. The Kings occasionally at home can step up. We saw them almost beat the Harden-led Cavaliers a couple of games ago. I think they can keep this game somewhat respectable. Once again, I'm not saying that I'm thrilled picking Sacramento in any capacity, but 9's a lot of points for Orlando, especially to be laying on the road. So I'm not going to bet this, but I'll go Kings plus 9 at home. Like the beam, maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely not betting it. I'll put Kings up with you, but I have no interest at all. This last one, I didn't really know what to do with this one. I'm interested to hear what you have to say because I was kind of spent only about 5-10 minutes looking at it. Couldn't really land on anything. So we're talking about Denver Clippers in LA. What are your thoughts here? Denver's laying 4?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go with Denver in this game. I think at the end of the day, I understand the Clippers still have Kawhi, who can have a monster game, but besides that, they traded away Harden, they traded away Zubac, they prioritize saving money at the trade deadline. They don't even have their own first-round pick, so they're not even trying to tank for a better pick on behalf of OKC. The point is, I do think with this actual roster, it's just not a very good team. Simply put, I know that Kawhi is still around and he could always have a monster game, but your starting center right now is Brook Lopez. Have fun trying to guard Jokic. You can never guard Jokic anyway, even when Zubac was there. But you're looking at Denver, who has been quite good against the Clippers in the regular season. So to go through the numbers here, the Nuggets have won 4 straight regular season games against the Clippers. All 4 wins by 13-plus points. They played 2 times this season already. Clippers won both games by double digits. Murray, of course, was still an all-star. Joker can have a triple-double in 3 quarters. I'm just not sure how the Clippers, who have gotten owned by Jokic over the years, are supposed to guard him for this game without really any center depth. Lopez, we know, even if he ends up starting, is probably going to play 20, 25 minutes in this game. But I think Denver's just the better overall team. It's Joker, mostly, who I think is just going to be able to pick apart this defense by himself. The Clippers' only chance is if Kawhi has a monster game scoring-wise. Joker can have 40. He could have 15, 15, and 12. There's a couple ways he can dominate this game. But 4 feels pretty short against the Clippers team that traded away Harden for Garland. Garland's still injured. You have basically no center depth at all. I just think it's a really bad matchup for the Clippers here. I'm going Nuggets -4.
Damn, I was kind of leaning the other way, to be honest.
Oh, is your case?
Well, yeah, that's the wrench thrown into things. How are they going to stop Jokic, right? But I think outside of Jokic, I like the matchup down low for the Clippers with no Aaron Gordon. And I feel like outside of Jokic, I love everything for the Clippers. And laying 4 on the road, that means we'd have Denver at 6.5 on a neutral. Do we think the Nuggets are that much better than the Clippers? I thought it was. I'll put Clippers up. That's the way I was leaning. This is not a game I bet, but I was actually leaning the other way in this one.
Well, to answer your question, though, should they be 6.5 on a neutral? I mean, based on the rosters right now, I would argue probably. I mean, once again, no Harden, no Zubac. What exactly does this team have offensively besides hoping Kawhi gives you a masterclass game in, game out? Like, what else do you have?
I like Collins, man. I think Collins.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I like Collins. Collins is a great player, and this Clippers team, they find ways to win. They've winning. I don't think they're that bad, but this is not a game I bet. But all right, so you were just mentioning the NBA podcast you recorded earlier today. Where can they find that?
Yes, you can find it on SGPN, a sports gambling podcast network. Every podcast there is free. So NBA Gambling Podcast, we try to record the night before. So once again, we did end up recording it. I feel bad, though, because I showed up 20 minutes late, apparently. So my bad.
Well, you actually showed up on time. I started 20 minutes. I didn't realize the college basketball segment was going to be so quick. We only talked about 6 games tonight.
Yeah.
So normally we talk about like 20 college basketball games. So normally we're on for like an hour. It was just weird that we only talked about a few games tonight. I'm the host for college basketball. They show me the games we're going to talk about. So I don't even know what we're going to talk about until about 20 minutes before the show starts.
Well, you were a little bit lucky, though, because there was a little bit of a scare that the Arkansas-Alabama game would still be going. So
yeah,
at least
holy
that game
shit.
ended.
That was awesome. All right, Scott. Send me a message, and if you're up at this hour, we could probably make this work. The problem with NBA is I never know what time because it goes after college basketball. But if you're just up, where I can just send you a message like, yo, if you're ready, come on. If not, no big deal, and we can kind of make it like open ended. We can make this work.
Yeah, I'm always awake, so yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah. So all right, cool. We'll talk.
Yeah,
everyone.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Yep, you too.